Hi everybody, I'm Kristen Denny Chambers. Welcome to the third and final section of the C sharp minor etude of the Oklahoma All-State Second Round Music 2020. This is page 36 out of the Selected Studies book, C sharp minor etude. We'll be working on the final section of the music in this video. If you missed the other two, be sure to look for video number 1 and number 2. This section will begin in measure 39 and go all the way to the end. So let's take a look at this music. While this section has less rhythmic activity, we really need to be patient with our timing. It's very easy to get ahead and also really show some beautiful shapes. I added some additional shapes that you can take a look at and try that I feel make sense in the music. Some of them even sort of negate what's on the page, and I think that's okay as long as you're being musical. You can really come up with your own ideas as long as it's very convincing, paced well, and executed well. Let's take a look at some fingerings to consider. In measure 41, we need to go to our middle finger for the F sharp and then get ready to flip to the first finger for the E sharp, because E sharp is the same thing as F natural. A couple of measures later, we can do a fork fingering. That's this one. And that'll give us a clean connection from F sharp down to E sharp, which again is the same as F natural. The next measure over, we have another instance where we have middle finger and then flip to first, because look at this E sharp at the beginning of the measure. It's going to carry through, so you got to make sure that you're doing that. The next line in measure 48, I recommend doing your side key for that high A sharp. You might be tempted to do 1/1, but it's a 2-count note, very exposed, and the 1/1 fingering is a little less stable than the side key fingering, and I like to use it for quick moments like we did in the other section. So here I would do side key and then choose if you're going to go left for your C sharp or right for your C sharp, just depending on what B sharp or C natural fingering you prefer to get to that F sharp cleanly. Over here, this is just like the beginning, so this is another opportunity if you want to go to the right side C sharp and then switch to the left midway through the note, you can do that. Or you can just play left to right like you would traditionally do. I added this little extra phrase here. I added some extra phrasing here, 59 leading to 61. I think it leads well to a forte, and then you can back off and do another piano and rebuild again. This is a good place for your right hand to be down to aid in crossing the break. And then this last line, we are really given very limited phrasing ideas from the edition. So I think it really wants to build up all the way to this B sharp accent. So give that a try, see if you like it. And then this ending part can be a really smooth and gentle echo. Let's go ahead and draw in some additional places where you can breathe. These are really long phrases, and it's very helpful to have a good plan for your breathing, and you want to stick to whatever you do each time so you're used to the breaths being in the same spot. So right here, after you flip-flop in between these two E sharps, is a good place to breathe. You can breathe here at the end of this line in between the notes, or you can breathe after that D natural. Just depends on how you pace it. The next good spot to take a breath, you could do one here if you need one before this big push. And here's another spot I forgot to write in, but I feel like this crescendo should go all the way to the B sharp and then wait a little bit later to decrescendo. Obviously, you'll get a really good breath here to start this new phrase, and then you can take a breath in between these two notes in measure 58. And then after you do this big push, if you decide to use my dynamics, there's a spot right there you can take a breath. And really, after any of these dotted eighth notes, you could take a breath. So whatever is easiest for you, if you do it there, if you do it here, just make sure that it times well with the air that you're using and that you don't end up having too much air, because we want to avoid that too. This shape is important because we have a little suspension, so do that little extra push on the second F sharp, and then if you drop way down to piano at 66, you can really build that phrase up. You can, of course, grab a quick breath at the end of this line here. And any of these 64th rests are fair game if you need to grab a new quick sip of air. Then we have this B sharp climactic point, and you could breathe either here or here to make it to the end of the etude, because this is the last part of the etude. So in measure 67, I forgot to write in some pinkies here. We will need our right side for the D sharp, and then just be on the lookout for this B sharp, which is really a C that we need to play on the left side. So just make sure you're really comfortable with your pinkies there. Mark in whatever you need to mark. Okay, I think we've covered it all, so I'm going to play the entire section with the metronome and without, so you can hear the difference in playing very steady with the beat and where there can be some flexibility. Okay, now I'll record a version without the metronome. I'll attempt to be a little bit flexible here and there while executing all the phrasing that I'm trying to do as well. Thank you so much for joining me on this coaching. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me at clarinetplayground@gmail.com. Thank you so much and good luck with your audition. Bye.